What is up, guys? This is the very last speedrun. It's crazy. We're finally here. We're finally doing it. It is legitimately time to go. Right now, while I'm recording this, it's Friday, and I leave Brazil on Wednesday. And yeah, essentially what's going on is that I have so much to do. I'm gonna have to edit like 12 speedruns. I'm gonna have to pack this stuff up. Unfortunately, I can't bring all of it, so I have to pack it up and just leave it in a storage facility here. But alas, the storage facility is pretty cheap. We're here playing the From's Gambit. Some things don't require comment, honestly. 2153, I gotta make 47 points. It's gonna take a little while. Yeah, very emotional moment for me. I've been going to this church here in Joinville. I have a lot of friends, and they're very sad. They're very upset that I'm leaving. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's a tricky situation. Like, on the one hand, I really want to explore the world, but on the other hand, it's a very lonely path where you have to say goodbye many times. Bishop e6 is a weird move. Let's play bishop g2. Keep an eye on this diagonal. No bishop d5, funny business. Let's play d4 here. We're going to play d5 soon enough. Yeah, this is a tricky position. Okay, right now can't play d5, but knight f6, that should be a huge mistake. We could just castle here. Very big mistake. Knight is hanging also... Well, no, what is he doing, though? It just drops a piece. All right, we take with the knight. Just up a full piece here. So what I really want to do is I want to grind into these weaknesses. If we see there's a huge gap in these pawns here. I could play it several different ways. I was thinking of playing bishop h6 to really to emphasize the issue, but I don't have to. I think queen f1 is a good idea, threatening f7. We're going to play queen f5 soon enough. All right, well now he's sort of begging for bishop h6 to be played. This is the best move. It's the best move at the best time. Yeah, it's an exciting time in my life, though. Really exciting time. The plan is I'm gonna go to Taiwan. Big fan of Brazil. I want to keep exploring, though. Yeah, I've been to most of Europe, most of South America, and some parts of Asia. But ultimately, I really want to explore Asia more, Africa more. Also, Australia. I mean, Australia doesn't seem that interesting because they speak English, but it is still. It's so out there. It's so out of the way. It looks like a very interesting place to be able to get to. So lots of cool stuff. All right, we'll just play bishop g5 here, attack this. Rook d7, we'll just trade. I don't know why he's continuing to play this game, honestly. It's time to go. It's legitimately time to go. Yeah, I'm studying up on Taiwan. Taiwan is super interesting. For those who don't know, I'm really interested in Mandarin. I'm really interested in Chinese. Might go back to China at some point, but the really cool thing is that like I studied Chinese history, and Chinese history is just it's a complete mess. Chinese history is wild. It's insane. If you ever want to study 100 years of a country's history and you don't know what to study, study China in the 20th century. It's the most insane thing. I took a class just on Chinese 20th century history. That's what it was called. And it was the most mind-blowing stuff. Like they start off the 1900s. They start off with the Qing dynasty. Yeah, they start off with the Qing dynasty. It's the last 10 years of the Qing dynasty. Dynasty falls. Then this president takes over named Sun Yat-sen, but he's only in office for a year. Then this other guy gets elected. He becomes an emperor. He tries to switch them back to an empire. And then he dies, and then it becomes like a warlord, like a rivaling warlord situation where there's essentially the country is just split up into like 15 different factions. I guess I have to make a move, so we're gonna play e3 here. That goes on until 1927, and then the nationalists, especially run by and led by Chiang Kai-shek, they take over, they unify the warlording factions, and then the nationalists start fighting with the communists. And that pretty much goes on from 1930 up until 1940 or 1938. And then China's the most insane thing. In Chinese history, they're having a civil war. Then World War II breaks out, and then Japan invades. So the communists and the nationalists, they stop fighting each other and they start fighting the Japanese. It's just the most wild stuff. It's literally the most insane history you will ever read about. But so anyway, to tie it back to my point, essentially what happened was that the nationalists and the communists are fighting. Japanese invade. They start fighting the Japanese, and then once the Japanese leave, once the Japanese finally are subdued, they resume fighting, and the Taiwanese, the nationalists flee to Taiwan, and the nationalists take over Taiwan. So where I'm going to now, it's like it's a very historical spot. It's a place that ties back to this history that I've studied, and yeah, for that reason, it's unbelievably interesting. Let's chop here. Like right now, I'm looking at some news there, and the primary political party in Taiwan is named the Kuomintang Party, which is the party of the nationalists. Those nationalists that I just explained were fighting against the communists. They ran to Taiwan and they just set up political shop, and now they're the leading party. So very interesting, super interesting stuff. Yeah, the communists sort of hate Chiang Kai-shek, but then when you go to Taiwan, everything is named after him. Very interesting. Yeah, one of the most interesting parts. So yeah, this D6, C6, C5 structure is not particularly good. We just play E4 here. We have a supercharged Rosalimo. This is a classic supercharged Rosalimo. Here we're gonna play E5. Now I'm wondering if we should do it now or later. I guess we'll play Knight C3 first. We're gonna play E5 and Knight E4. We definitely want to segment these pawns. These pawns are going to be split in half here. Let's start with Queen E2 first. He might help us do it. He might play D5 and then we'll just play E5 anyway. A5. Man wants to play Bishop A6. I think now is the time for E5. So yeah, this is very interesting. Like one of the things that I love about history, and it's definitely something that's not for the faint of heart, is when you get to history, the very simple there's always like the simple one-sided expression of history that is being portrayed by the winning side. But then as you dig deeper, you start to uncover a much more complex portrait. And yeah, one of my first interactions, one of my first revelations regarding this was when I went to college in Canada, and I had always understood the War of 1812 as America winning. But I was talking to these Canadian students, and they had thought that Canada won that war. So, yeah, like it seems like every country has their own form of history. They have their own understanding of what's happened historically. And to really identify the truth and identify what actually had occurred, you need to compile all these different, very distinctive takes on the same event. All right, let's play Knight E4 here. Fantastic pressure on D6 and C5. Yeah, and like the whole problem here is just look at his structure. His structure is ruined. I don't know what this was about. I guess he wants to play A3 and maybe have some pressure here. He's not going to get it though. Maybe his idea is A3, B3, Bishop E5, Knight E5, and Queen D4. I can always play Bishop E3 in that position. I'm not particularly worried there. Let's play Bishop G5. But yeah, this position should just be completely winning for white. Way too many weaknesses on the dark squares. Very ugly pawns here. Knight D4. All right, we'll just play Queen F2. If he takes, we take back with the queen. We could also actually take back with the pawn. Taking back with the pawn makes a lot of sense because now I can build concrete on E5. He has no time to take because his queen is hanging. Yeah, this looks very strong. Queen D4, we're just going to play F4. That endgame looks completely losing. All right, F4, if he wants, we can trade queens. I'll take with the king even. This pawn is a goner. That pawn is going to die. That pawn has a miserable fate. The best he's going to get is to play C4, and then I just take. And my knight has fantastic squares. I have a choice between this square, which might become a treehouse, this square, which is strong. Also, even this square. That square is like my just desserts. That square I might end up using at some point. I really don't have to, though. Yeah, we're not finishing this speedrun. We're not finishing this episode until I cross 2200. The speed run must come to an end. It has to end. Yeah, I'm starving. I'm so hungry. I'm definitely gonna miss these Brazilian steaks. Last night I went to the I went to the steak place. I'll post a pic of it. I took a picture of it. I bought, what is it? It was 600 grams of filet mignon. It came out to like something like $16. And yeah, it was delicious. It was absolutely scrumptious. I think I'm gonna go back to that place pretty much every night while I'm still here because I'm gonna definitely be sorely missing the Brazilian steaks when I'm gone. Yeah, this endgame is mind blowing. Honestly, this is already like a losing position for him pretty much. It's just a completely losing ending. He's gonna at least be losing a pawn here. I could play King E3 and maybe take here. He's going there. Let's wrap around this way. I'll just scoop up the apple in style. I could scoop up this apple. This bishop is so bad. This bishop is so bad, and yet the problem... All right, he's doing that. That's actually... I would assume that that's a good idea. He's trying for something. Let's play rook g1. The first rule of Grandmaster Nuisance chess, if your opponent wants to do something, do not let them do it. I can't say it enough. If your opponent wants to do something, do not let them do it. f5, we just take this way. I'm taking en passant. He's finally opening up the position, but at just too high a price. His bishop might finally get out here, but it's too much. I'm going to take this way. Yeah, this is just the end of the game. Bishop h8, we play g6. If he takes this way, I take with the rook. It's way too much. Man, I'm starving. I think I'm going to have a steak for lunch, and then I'm going to go and have a steak for dinner. I can't have enough of the steak. Yeah, last night I had 600 grams of filet mignon. Definitely by the 400th gram, I was getting pretty tired. But, you know, I toughed it out, and I ate the remaining 200 grams of filet mignon. Yeah, for all those out there, if you like steak, you got to come to Brazil. Brazil has by far the best steaks that I've had yet. I went to Argentina briefly, and I had some good steak there. But, like, it's really... I wasn't able to experience that much of Argentina, so I just can't tell you for certain if Argentina's better or not. What I can assure you, though, is that if you come to Brazil, you're going to have some fantastic quality meat if you choose the right steakhouse. All right, they're taking there. Well, we'll take this way. This is just the end of the game. He's finally got his bishop out, but that leaves these other pieces. I can't help but just, like, snicker at his position because it's just a travesty. This position is an unmitigated travesty. All right, yeah, that was a very nice game. That was one of my best games. Wait, actually, yeah, can we see the game review? Yeah, by the way, like, to be clear, oh, look at that graph. That is a beautiful graph. 94.5, I'll definitely take it. All right, let's keep going. Let's see what's happening here. Playing Raja Tumpong. 2169. I would like to cross 2200 on with a bird game. Let's play e5 here. So yeah, this video is going to be released. This is like 12 speedruns from now. This is going to be released in late December, I would assume. So I can start talking about my my openings. Yeah, I have an e4, e5 course deep in the works. By the point that this video is released, it's probably going to be nearly done. I recommend d5 as one of the two main recommendations in this position. d5 is a very nice move. But it does lead to more simple positions if they know what to do. If they castle and play rook e1, it just leads to very simple positions. Here you play, do you start with knight b6? Or do you play f6 first? I think we play f6 first. No, sorry, we play knight... Is it knight b6 or... Yeah, let's play knight b6 first. I think it's knight b6 first. I don't know it's knight b6, but I think it's knight b6 first. I have to double check the theory. Have not done this chapter yet. Yeah, this entire e4, e5 course is going to be a complete surprise. Well, that's just a blunder. He has a hanging queen here. What is he doing? Rook takes, knight takes bishop. I'm just winning on the spot. All right, that's the game. This might be a very short speed run. Okay, he's taking. If we take with the queen, if I take with the king, he throws in a check. I go... Yeah, I guess this is best. He's going to throw in a check. We'll play bishop e6. I'm just going to be up the exchange here. The reason I can get away with king takes is that my bishop is coming out, rook is coming out quickly, and king will go to f8. And my idea is that I'm going to be able to get enormous pressure on this pawn here. He's going to take... No, sorry, he can't take because of the pin. He has to check first. I go here. He finally takes. I play queen d4. And I'm immediately threatening to win a pawn. I'm also threatening to coordinate my rooks. So this was the grandmaster analysis behind why I played king takes c7. Of course, I could have taken with the queen and been up in exchange. Also had a great position, but I just thought that this was cleaner. Yeah, knight d2, but knight d2 is never a move you want to have to make, right? Like what is he ever going to play now? His bishop cannot get out. If he plays b3, I snatch the mango. It's mango hunting time. And yeah, if he doesn't do anything, we'll just play rook e8, king f8, have fantastic pieces. Knight is completely discombobulated here. Another huge issue with the knight is that even if the bishop was able to get out, it wouldn't be able to due to the pressure. Black is completely winning here. It's time to go.
Fantastically.
Time to go.
Match of the day. Why you? No, don't
It's
interrupt.
time to go.
Don't interrupt me.
I will interrupt.
Don't interrupt me.
I will interrupt you because
you've got a sore voice.
It's time to go.
Yeah, Chinese history is outrageously interesting. It's one of the most mind-blowing things out there. So pretty much, yeah, so the nationalists leave. The nationalists leave China. They flee to Taiwan in 1949, and Mao sets up shop. Mao was one of the leading revolutionaries, and so he assumes the mantle of the country, of leading the country. And he reigns for like 25 years. He does a lot of terrible things. Millions of people die due to famines that were forced just due to his really bad policies. Like apparently the guy was a good revolutionary. He was a terrible leader. He led a lot of really ridiculous initiatives. Like a lot of the main criticisms against communism, pretty much just what he did and his policies were just the case studies. I'm just slurring my words now. I'm too excited for Taiwan. Like, yeah, I'm gonna have to edit this down because I'm really slurring my words. I don't think that I'm articulate in this video. But yeah, he did several things like the Great Leap Forward. He just wanted people to start. It's the whole idea of the Great Leap Forward. I shouldn't be laughing because millions of people died. But it was a really stupid policy in hindsight. Essentially, he just wanted everyone to become like an industrial producer. And so he just had these peasants. He had these Chinese peasants in the countryside just burning iron. And it led to, by misappropriating labor to things that were not what the labor should have been dedicated to. That's an interesting check. I think I'm going to have to walk this way. Labor got misappropriated, and because of that, people just weren't tending to the farmland. And suffice it to say that, yeah, millions of people died due to starvation. So I should not be laughing about it, to be clear. Terrible policy. Terrible policy. And then what happened after that? Then apparently he was losing power. He was starting to get a little senile, and he thought it would be a great idea, as he's losing power within the party, to just flip communism on its head. Honestly, it was a really smart idea for him in terms of gaining power. So F3 should not be good. F3 looks like it's going to be a big problem, because with F3 now he has many more weaknesses over here. But where should the queen go, though? He is making sure that his knight can come to e4. Knight's going to be good on e4. What do we do here? We could play queen g5. Queen g5 is interesting. Should I just trade? I guess I should trade. Trading is simplest. Queen g5. Yeah, wait. Okay, I gotta hold off. Queen g5. He could take, though. That's getting very tricky. If he takes there, that's not simple. Let's just play queen g6 and be happy. Yeah, so where was I? Back to the Chinese history lesson. So anyway, yeah, so he's losing power in the party because he's done a lot of terrible policies by the 1970s. Completely losing power. Party is about to shut him out because they're like, yeah, we can't have this guy continue to make bad policies. Yeah, you know, like, he had lots of terrible policies, but the guy was a real political genius. Essentially, what he did was he caused the Cultural Revolution. The whole he made the whole idea be that the issues with society are due to old, antiquated ideas, and so we need to throw out everything associated with the old. And it's ironic because he was an old guy. He had been in charge for so long, but by by manipulating the rhetoric in this way, he was able to essentially just pin all of problems with China, which were due to him, which were due to his terrible policies. He was able to pin all of them. We're going to run this way, actually. That's a catch-22. We're not running this way because if we go there, they just keep checking. Instead, yeah, he just pinned all of China's problems on this. He just pinned them on the party, on the political party, on the CCP, to be clear. And in the end, what did he cause? He caused the Cultural Revolution, and essentially what happened there. That's the closest that many societies have been to complete anarchy. The whole idea of the Cultural Revolution was to upend the existing social order and upend the existing power structure. There's a very reductionist view of society down to the lens of power structures and who's in control and who's in power. But yeah, suffice it to say, Cultural Revolution was nuts because essentially what you had kids getting encouraged to like drag their parents out of their houses and beat them in the street. Just really insane, just unbelievable things, unbelievable images are conjured in your head when you read accounts of what was going on in this time period. All right, let's play bishop h3 here. His light scores are very weak due to this g3 move, so I think I should be winning here. If he plays rook f2, I think I can take on e4. Because takes, queen takes e4, and we're threatening queen e1. We also might have threats of rook d1. We're also covering a8. Yeah, that's a beautiful move. Look at that. Rook f2, rook takes e4. He cannot throw in a check there because of rook e8. And yeah, once the sacrifice happens, it's just the end of the game. He's going there, but we're going to take. Yeah, he has no tricks. No tricks whatsoever. If he plays queen b4, we play c5. This was his last hope. He was hoping for king g8 when knight f6, and he gets some tricks here. Even that position, I think I should be winning. His light scores are just too weak here. Definitely here, though, it's completely lost. If he plays queen b5, I think we could just take with the queen on e4. Also, we could take with the rook on e4. Both would work. Yeah, Chinese history is unbelievably interesting. Unbelievably interesting. I took a lot of classes in college. I definitely roast college a lot for being relatively irrelevant regarding how much it's taught me about life and everything. One of the classes I definitely do not regret taking, though. One of the classes that was definitely worth it was Chinese 20th century history. All right, can we just take here? I think that, whoa. Takes, they play bishop d6, and then they take here. So we got to be a little careful. This is wild. Look at this. If I take here, he plays check. He plays check, and he's winning because he's scooping up one of these. This rascal. Okay, we got to just take this. Luckily, this is winning. He has one last trick here. He can take, throw in a check, but luckily I can run this way. I'm not getting mated here. He's definitely going to go for the trick. I know a tricky guy when I play one. Yeah, I have to say that's one of the coolest things about studying history is that you study history and then you observe present day society and you see, present day society, it's not a complete representation. It's not completely affected by history, but there are these long running historical threads that weave into this tapestry that produces modern society. And you see it front and center with Taiwan. So much of Taiwan's political life is shaped around what happened back in 1949 with them fleeing from the mainland. Super interesting stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed my Chinese history lecture. Yeah, suffice it to say, I took this class on 20th century China, and that led me to just be incredibly I'm very enthralled by the whole idea of Chinese history and Chinese culture. And yeah, that's why I ended up studying Chinese. That's why I'm going to really try to be a master of Mandarin, so to speak. Yeah, so he went for the trick. Let's take here. He'll play knight f6. We'll go here. Knight d6. All right, we'll just go here. Game should be over. I would expect a resignation here. I guess he could try rook d1 last, but then we'll play queen d3. Queen d3 is a nice move. All right, nice. 2176, let's go. Continuing to make waves. All right, playing white. 2176, f4. It's time to go. Are we going to get a bird abort? That would be cool to get a bird abort. E5. We're getting several Franz gambits now. Where is that flag? Queen h4, that's not good. Playing g3, queen e4, we'll play knight f3. Knight f3, knight c3. Man, I'm starving. I have to stop recording these. I have to stop recording these when I'm so hungry. I thought last night's steak would tide me over till after the recording of this, but I guess it hasn't. That flag looks like Turkmenistan. Zambia. Yeah, we're going to play e4, bishop g4, bishop g2. Yeah, very interesting situation. I mean, this should just be completely winning. I don't think he played this correctly. All right. Should we play queen e2 or d3? I would assume d3. This looks slightly better. Reinforces the center, just builds very nice concrete. We're going to play bishop g2, castles, bishop g5. It's time to go. It's legitimately time to go. Yeah, once I finish recording this, I have a lot of things to do. I have to edit like 12 of these. All right, we'll castle here. Knight d7. All right, I mean, this looks simple enough. Queen d2, we'll play rook a e1 soon enough. Gonna transfer the knight over from d4 to f5. Yeah, knight d4 looks very strong. Another idea here is now to play h3. Because if the bishop moves, we have knight f5. But I guess no, h3, they'll take on g3, we'll take, they have a lot of pressure there. But wait, no, actually I just play knight f5. That's just winning on the spot. That can't be good. h3 takes. Yeah, it doesn't really work. Can we play queen f2? Queen f2 also looks good. I feel like there has to be something wrong with g6, but I can't pinpoint it. Let's just play queen f2 here. Queen f2 does several things. It reinforces this knight. I guess there's no real need for that, but it is something. It reinforces g3, so h3 is becoming a big threat. I'd be happy to see him play c5, because if he plays c5, he really weakens this square, and our knights can route around there. All right, let's play h3 now. It's time to go. He plays knight h5, we take. He takes on g3. That cannot be good. I mean, among other things, I have queen f3. We could also take on h5. Played bishop f4. Bishop f4, bishop c5. This position is not so easy to play. Yeah, this position is very weird. Like, this bishop has to be terribly placed here, but at the same time, how to exactly... If he plays bishop c5, I can't really play knight a4. He'll just play bishop a7. Okay, well, that can't be good. We have two ideas. We could take with the queen and then play for g4. If I play queen takes, then he plays queen c5, and that's annoying. Let's just take this way. I'm just up a very nice pawn. Bishop is still locked out of the game. We have ideas of e5, knight e4, knight d6, knight f6. Yeah, I have very mixed feelings about leaving Brazil. I do love this country. Very, very warm people. Yeah, it's a sad situation, but like, I don't know. Like, I tend to always just make these decisions from a worst case scenario, and I'm gonna really regret it. Like, on the one hand, one of my plans when coming to Brazil was I wanted to find a wife and settle down and just, start having kids and have a family. But I know in the back of my head, I'm going to be very disappointed and I'm going to be very regretful that I did not explore Taiwan more. Explore Taiwan, explore Asia. I really want to go to Japan as well. And so, at the moment I'm 31. Time is starting to run out, but I still have a lot of time. If I find a wife at 36, it's not the end of the world. Let's play e5 here. Just boot the knight out. Yeah, I'm thinking of that Seinfeld episode where he talks about even Stevens, and I think in general that's a good way to live. You always want to follow... You want to figure out a way to follow your path, but at the same time... All right, I mean, what am I doing here? I could play f5 and e6, but leave this concrete on the board. Just implant a knight on d6. Fantastic position here. Yeah, I don't know. It's very strange. Like, on the one hand, my life leads me down a very lonely road. I'm just traveling all the time. I'm mostly so focused on my work that I spend most of my time indoors on computers. But the nice thing about traveling is that as soon as I go outside, it's just an adventure, wherever I go. I'm just talking about what works for me. I think I have a very independent personality. All right, what are we going to do here? It would be nice to get... I want to push f5 and break through, because it really is time to go. But at the same time, I cannot push this yet because e5 is a bit loose. e5 is definitely a bit loose. So what are we going to do here? I want to play d4. I like knight e2 a lot. Knight e2 is a really cheesy move. Look at that. Knight e2, we're doing several things. I want to come to g3 to have the option of just chipping through on h5. Another idea is I'm just opening up the d-pawn's path for d4. Very uncomfortable stuff for black at the moment. Okay, he takes. Probably the best decision, because otherwise the bishop was just going to have more and more problems. The good news for him is he's gotten one less problem piece. The bad news is the rest of his position is terrible. The rest of his position is not to be recommended. Let's play d4 here. Man, I'm starving. I'm so hungry. Last time I felt this torn about a decision to leave a country was back when I was in New York, originally leaving for Peru. This was in March of 2019. But yeah, looking back now with hindsight, like my decision to leave New York for Peru was an incredibly smart decision. I've been able to see so much more of the world. I've been able to get a much better sense of what type of cultures I like. You guys know I'm a language guy. I love languages. So it's been an incredible experience. And yeah, like assuming this decision has the same type of consequences that my decision to leave New York for Peru, I'm certain I'm making the right decision. I would say the one real risk of my decision is that, like, if you just keep traveling the world forever, you pretty much never have any close friends. Like that is like the drawback. That is the big trade-off with this. Like on the one hand, I am able to have some incredible experiences, experiencing this enormous variety of cultures. But yeah, but at the same time, like I'll probably never have a close friend that I've just grown up around and like just had around me for 10 or 15 years. Yeah, so I mean, it's a big trade-off. I definitely, like, whenever anyone acts as if like my life of just traveling around the world is all just sunshine and roses, I make a note. I really try to point out to them that it isn't that cut and dried. What should we do here? I think it would be a great moment to trade queens, but if I trade queens immediately, he's going to take this pawn here. Can we play h4 to play bishop h3? That looks very good. Let's go for that. This knight is really superb here. It looks like the position's on the brink of just a completely winning position. We just need to find the right way to do it. All right, let's play bishop h3 now. Is he going to take on a2? If he takes on a2, we play b3 and we lock his queen out. He takes on a2, okay. b3, queen is locked out. There should definitely be some win here now. We should have some idea of either knight f7 or bishop d7 followed by e6 or h5. h5 looks like the best move of all. Look at that. Takes rook g2. Yeah, let's play h5 here. Queen is just locked out. He could play queen d4. We'll play king h2. Queen is still locked out. These pawns completely segment the queen from the right side of the board. Takes, we play rook g2, and I think that's just the end of the game. King, oh, he takes here. He takes here. I should have played rook f2. I should have played rook f2. All right, he missed it. I got extremely lucky there. Okay, let's play rook e4. I cannot lose this pawn. Can we play f5? Dude, f5 is a mind-blowing move. Look at that. f5 takes. If he takes with the knight, we take. That's actually not that clear. Should I just play rook e4? Yeah, let's start with rook e4. We'll figure out the rest later. Queen d2, I have rook e2. That would have been a real mess. Man, I'm starving. I'm so hungry. I had a cupcake at Starbucks earlier, but it's not enough, evidently. All right, so I have a very interesting choice here. I could play f5 and try to break through here, but the thing I don't like is that after the knight trade, his rook starts defending everything. So I'm starting to think that that's not the answer. I would assume a better idea, well, let's just make sure that his knights can't get to d5. Let's play c4. Knight is still dominated. It's domination, people. It's time to go. Yeah, it's crazy how many of the pedestrian things you gain an appreciation for just through longing for them. Like I'm gonna be spending before I go to Taiwan, I'm gonna be spending a week in Miami, and I've like charted out all the different meals I'm gonna have. I'm gonna have chicken wings. They don't have chicken wings here in Brazil. I'm gonna have barbecue chicken wings and buffalo chicken wings. I'm gonna have sun chips. Sun chips. I love sun chips. They're delicious. They're really delicious. Knight f5? That can't be the answer though. We're just gonna take this way. He takes, we play rook e2. Okay, he does play rook g7 there. Yeah, this is getting a little frisky, honestly. Um rook e2, this is getting this is getting very intense, actually. But no, rook g, I have to be winning. My knight is just too strong on d6. My knight is too superb on d6. If he plays rook g7, I can play queen h4. h6, that's a huge mistake. Now I have time for rook g2. He's never going to be able to fight for the g file now. Queen g6, queen h6, game over. I guess he's going to try queen d4 to attack this f pawn, but now with the f file blocked, it's not going to be nearly as strong as before. Yeah, what are we going to do here? What are we going to do here? Let's play rook f1. Just defend. I have a very simple plan. I'm going to play queen g6 and queen h6. He has no way to really stop it. Queen g6, and if need be, I'll play rook f3, rook g3. Eventually, it would make sense to triple up in this fashion, but the thing is that I don't want to allow a quick queen f4 check, so it makes sense to double here. Let's play queen g6 now. Knight f7 threatens mate, and I don't see how he would stop it. If he takes with the rook, I have mate here. If he takes this way, I take check and then take with mate. But how would he stop it, actually? Okay, so wait, this doesn't work. Look at that. Knight f7 takes there, and his rook is protected. This crafty guy. This crafty guy. I need to upset the order of things one way or another. Let's start by playing rook f3. My idea is I want to play rook g3, but I don't want to let him take with a pin, so I'm going to play king h3 next. Just slowly grinding the gears. If he takes on e5, that's interesting. Luckily for me, I can just take, though. If he takes with check, I play king h3. This is not hanging here. Actually, yeah, wait, no, so sorry. Takes, I just play rook g3. If he plays f4, then I can mate. Queen h4, he's not going to get a perpetual, though. He's close to the perpetual, but there's no perpetual. No perpetual. How much time are we at? We're at 46 minutes. This is going to be the longest speed run of them all. Queen e7. Let's play rook g3 now, threatening queen g8. That's going to be mate. Let's play rook h3 here. Queen e7. He's going to go back to e7. I'll play knight f5. He plays queen takes e5, and I play rook g3, and I think that's winning. Because, yeah, if he plays... Yeah, let's play knight f5 here. He can play queen e5. We play rook g3. We're threatening a mate. Yeah, if he does nothing else, I'm going to take on h6, and then that becomes a checkmate again. Okay, rook g3. Weirdly enough, I'm not threatening mate right now because I'm pinned, but if he tries to take this in any way, shape, or form, then I do have the mate. Yeah, this is a super interesting game. All right, how am I gonna maneuver around here? Let's just take this way. Queen g8. King h3 now. I'm just gonna get out of the way. All right, can I play king h3 here? King h3, rook takes, I have mate. If king h3, queen takes, I can check there, and that's mate. Let's go for it. Nice. Let's keep it going. 2183. 2183, 46 minutes in. It's only fitting that this is the longest speed run of them all. All right, let's go. Maybe don't tell me I'm going to end on a black game. I don't want to break 2200 on a black game. I want to end it with the bird. It's time to go. All right, we got a classic bird with e4. We play queen e2 here. Man, I'm starving. I'm so hungry. e5, push the knight out. Yeah, this should be a fantastic position. Knight g8. I think f5. f5 is very interesting in these situations. Let's go for it. You know, you only live once. You know what I mean? f5, well, this is wild, though. Look at this. Takes bishop g5. He can take on f3. Okay, he takes that. Well, that's not good. There's going to be big problems with that. He's trying to get fancy. Man has his fancy pants on. It's not going to work, though. Not going to work. I'm the birdmaster. Buddy, it's time to go. Queen g3. Very big trouble now for him. If he plays g6, f6, it's just the end of the game. His dark scores are way too weak here. Yeah, this is not going to go well. This is going to be pretty, people. He could play d6, but then we play bishop b5, and he hasn't solved anything there. Bishop f4, I'm going to castle queenside. The whole idea here is if I can just maintain these pawns, I'm completely winning. It's just a matter of whether or not he can break in time with d6. So he's threatening to play g5 and takes. I'll just play queen g7 in that event and be completely winning. So I'll just castle queenside here. It's time to go. g5, we can play h4. I'm definitely getting reported to chess.com for that one. You're definitely going on chess.com's radar when you play a move like that. Very strong move here. However he takes, I'm going to play queen g7. This is already a resignable position. I would assume this is like +4 for white. Takes. All right, queen g7. And really nicely, yeah, he's going to finally start getting some pawns, but he's just losing too much material here. He plays king f8. I check and then I mate. He could take this way, but then I... Yeah, this also isn't good. Takes. It's time to go. I'm literally up the whole house, buddy. It's time to go. We got to get things moving. It's time to go. All right. Mans is continuing to drop dimes and drop apples. I guess he could play knight f2. If he wants to get the fork, he can get the fork. I'll let him get the fork. Can I take on d7? Yeah, let's take on d7 here. Let's win in style. He takes with the king. I check. King e7. I'm going to poke his king out, and then I'm going to play queen d4 and take the knight. So we have this... Wait, do we have this check? I think rook e1 is even better. The queen c6 is just going to be unstoppable soon enough. Queen c6, also queen d8, huge threat. I don't see how he's going to deal with it. Like, I have a really big threat. Queen f8, king d5, c4, king d4, c3, king d3. Where is the mate in that position? c5 is mate. That's a cool mate. Queen takes h4. All right, let's start by... How are we going to do this? I could check this way. If he goes out, I have the skewer. All right, now he has to make a choice. Does he want to run into the skewer, or he runs this way? All right, and that's mate. That's the end of the game. All right, very nice. 2192. We are on the cusps of greatness. Okay, this is going to be the game. It's time to go. So yeah, as I mentioned before, I'm going to be doing a course on the Two Knights Tango. This has been in the production now for a few months. I'm doing it with a student of mine. He's a fantastic analyst, and I'm very excited for the work that we're going to produce. The course should come out maybe by September. It's probably going to be on Chessable. It's going to be on Chessable. What am I talking about? It's going to be on Chessable. Should we play? Let's play bishop b4 here. The idea with this Two Knights Tango is that eventually we want to transfer our knight over in a lot of positions. Well, if he goes there, then we win the pawn. I don't know what that was about. I'm taking the pawn, buddy. I'm snacking. I'm snacking on the pawn. All right, takes. Is he going to play a3? a3 is a cheesy move. So here we could play knight a6, because if takes, then we play knight c5. That's definitely one way to play it. Yeah, let's go for that. Super cheesy chess. Knights grill into e4. The really nice thing about the Two Knights Tango is that if your opponent does something like this and he surrenders important squares, all of a sudden you might be better, because he's just surrendered too much. The whole idea here is now with this pawn for advance, there's no way that he can ever... Oh, he should play d6 here. I made a mistake. I shouldn't have allowed d6. If he plays d6 here, he's still fine. If he plays d6, I think the move is c6, and then we play b5, and it's just more spellbinding chess. But yeah, suffice it to say, if he makes any normal move here, we're going to play d6, and this pawn is just slightly weak here. D6, C6, yeah, these positions are very interesting. I'm going to castle first, actually, because the thing is I want him to keep his bishop on the board. If I play D6, I allow him to play bishop B5 and trade the bishops off. All right, so here, yeah, best for him would have been to push D6. If he pushes D6 here, the position is just going to get insane. I don't know what's happening in that case. Just to show you guys some interesting ideas, there's some ideas in that position to play B5 and to hunt down this pawn with like rook E8, knight B7, knight E4, and eventually we're just going to collect the pawn. And another idea here is that as impressive as this pawn looks, because we're grilling into this square, there's no way for him to ever connect his pawns by getting that pawn through to E5. All right, so he castles here. Should I play A4 now? I think I should play A4 now. He's going to play bishop B5 though. Okay, if he plays bishop B5, I'll play bishop D7. No harm, no foul. He has several weaknesses that could potentially become an issue. Normally, if you can play A4 to segment their pawns in such a way, then this is a good thing. You gotta mind it though. It's not always the case. All right, we'll put the bishop on D7 here. I'm starving. I am astoundingly hungry. I could eat a moose. All right, he's playing for E4. E4 is not the end of the world, though. He's going to have a lot of weak dark squares. Let's put the queen on B8. I'm getting the queen around. Queen is going to come to B6. This is a classic Rubinstein maneuver. I could definitely see myself coming back to Brazil at some point. I do like this country a lot. Let's play queen B6. I'm actually not sure what I should be playing for. I mean, maybe I could play for G6 and F5. So the way to do that would be you would play knight H5, G6, knight G7, and then F5. Yeah, this is a very strange position, honestly. I don't know what's happening. Don't ask me, because I wouldn't be able to tell you what's happening. We might be able to play C6 here, actually. I wasn't really certain about playing C6. But the idea is that takes. I get a weakness on the D file, but then his B pawn becomes much weaker as this file opens. Knight B5. All right, I don't believe in that move. I think we should definitely take here, because he's going to be left with a really ugly bishop. Could I play rook A5? Rook A5 asks some of the very big questions. I guess he's just going to go back to C3. No, but if he goes back to C3, I take the pawn. Yeah, he's in trouble here. Yeah, it's going to get very interesting. Two Knights Tango is a really interesting system. Super interesting system, and it's only like 0.3 according to the computer. Really not that bad. Can't believe we're going to break 2200 playing Dogwarts. Yeah, I'm so hungry. I'm going to go get some fried chicken. They got a nice fried chicken place here in Brazil. Yeah, to all those watching, to all those wondering about like my fascination with Brazil, I really do love Brazil. Yeah, I think definitely like whether or not I end up settling here, beautiful culture, really wonderful people, extremely warm people. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like maybe this is going to be a bad decision that I'm leaving this country. Only time will tell, though. Yeah, maybe like 5 years ago, I just always chose to take the decision of, like venture into the unknown. And, if you make mistakes, at least you will die with no regrets. And definitely now, already at this point, like if I ended up settling in Brazil, I would have a lot of fun. It would have been a very nice life, but I don't know. I'm a glass half full kind of guy. And I tend to always lean toward the side of, continuing to try for more. That's one of the main reasons I actually retired from chess, is that it became so glaringly obvious that like my potential in chess is it's just, I'm 30 years old, there's not much more to push for in chess. And that was one of the few moments where I just had to be realistic, and I had to say, do I want to spend the rest of my life playing chess and maybe getting to 2600, and if I'm very lucky, getting to 2700? Or do I want to spend my time doing other things like mastering languages, having a family? And yeah, in the end, that's why I chose to retire from chess. I no longer play professionally. I might play a tournament every now and then, but like it's too much of an opportunity cost in terms of the rest of life. There's so many other things I want to do in my life. All right, this guy is sort of panicking. I can't believe there are no dogs barking. Like, this is the last speedrun episode. And this is the very last speedrun episode. Why are they not barking? I guess they're sad too. Your boy is leaving. Let's play b2. Rook b1 will take on a3. I guess you could play knight b5. We'll play rook a2. Yeah, this should just be the end of the game. I guess he's going to take here, and maybe he's going to try for checkmate, but his queen is not on g3 or anywhere close. Let's play knight e4. There must be some tactic here. I think I see a beautiful tactic here at the moment. This is a spellbinding tactic. If he plays bishop f3, I could play knight f2 takes, queen takes d4. All right, he's doing that. That is definitely not going to work, though. Could I play knight f2 here? I think knight f2 first makes sense because takes, rook c1. Sorry, why am I doing it this complicated? Let's just play simple. I'm just going to take and then take here. There's nothing to even discuss now. Just take, get rid of the last pawn. I would expect a resignation here. He plays queen d1. I'm going to move my knight back to e4. Nice. All right, and you guys saw it. That's the game. Let's give ourselves a round of applause.
FTV Claude, I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked.
It's time to go!